Hi, Prateek. This is Nadia from Zen Onco and Love Heals Cancer. We guide cancer patients on adopting an integrative oncological treatment approach. We help them find the right balance between mainstream treatment and complementary treatment approaches. We help patients with our team of oncologists, lab experts, nutritionists, and other healthcare professionals so that treatment to the patient can be at the best outcome, right? We also help in connecting patients with other caregivers and survivors, like yourself here today, so that the inspiration and the motivation is passed on and we can pay it forward in our own ways. And they would have so many queries, and this entire session with what we are having right now is part of that, so that all their queries and all their information can be answered. And I'm so happy to have you on this podium with us today, Pratik. He's taken the time out to be here with us, and it's really an honor for me to be talking to you and having to hear your story. It is really an honor. Let me just say that on the outset, right? The podium is yours, Pratik. Take it forward with your story. The whole world is listening to you. Yeah.
Thanks, Nadia. Thanks for inviting me to be able to share what we've gone through over the past, let's say, couple of years. So, just to give a brief introduction, my dad was diagnosed with GBM grade 4, one of the worst type of brain cancers there is, in November 2018, just about slightly less than 2 years right now, right?
Yes.
Um, uh, it was a very sudden, and it was if I go into the whole process of how it happened, the only thing we could see from the outside was a slightly asymmetric smile, right? And this
Okay.
is something my mom had been noticing over the past 2 3 months.
Right.
And then when me and my sister met our parents for Diwali, then mom raised it again that this is something that I've been trying to get him, trying him to get it checked, but he's not doing it. So I just think there's something wrong. Let's just investigate. So then we started investigating. My sister was at, I mean, she has some sort of she was preparing for MBBS with her 10th and 12th. So she has friends at AIMS and a couple of friends at AIMS Delhi. One of them is a neurosurgeon as well.
Hmm.
So we just started discussing with them how to go about it. We didn't know how to treat an asymmetric smile, right? I mean, it just seemed like a very, very simple thing. Just maybe some nerves were getting pressed or something like that. So that was our first intuition. But then we talked to this friend, and he suggested, fine, does not seem something big, but you should still get an MRI done just in case, right? Brain MRI done. We even consulted a few neurologists back in Allahabad. So we are originally from Allahabad. Right now we are all living in Delhi, Gurgaon. But
Yes.
at that time we were all in Allahabad. I mean, at least my parents were in Allahabad.
Yes.
So that again, no real diagnosis. Anyone no one could point out why is this happening or what is happening. Nobody was even willing to recommend an MRI to be done, right? So it was just us who really pushed it forward. Me and my sister just said, no, I mean, we have to find out what is it before it's too late, right? I mean,
Exactly.
what,
Exactly.
we hope it's something small, but we need to know what it is. So with again, we got what kind of MRI to be done. We got it written from a friend on a plain piece of paper. No doctor was ready to recommend it to us, and we went to one of the centers in Allahabad. We got this MRI done, and we found a huge tumor on the right side of the right frontal lobe of the brain. So then, when we started talking to my dad, we started figuring out that he had been noticing that he used to play squash until a couple of months ago. He was the state champion in over 40 category,
Oh.
right? Just until a couple of months before this diagnosis. So, and he would regularly play with people my age, and he was better than all of them. So he was that active. He was very healthy, very fit. So we were not expecting that. But then he started telling us that over the past couple of months, I've been feeling that I've gone slow on the court. Again, this is something that we started talking about later because this is not something that you normally discuss, right? I mean, fine. He thought it could be the age, could be something with the knees, because his knees have been troubling him a little bit as well before. So again, long story, but that is how it happened. That is how we just got an MRI done, and once we got the MRI done, we found a huge. I don't remember the size. I think it was 2.5 centimeter or something. It was really big. Um, for a first diagnosis for a brain tumor patient who has never had any headaches, who had never had any seizures, he never fell down, he never had any confusion, there was absolutely no symptoms, right? So it was right in the part which controls the motor functions. So that is why he had been noticing that his left side of the body had gotten a little weak, and that's why he was moving slower on the squash court. And that is why the left side, when he was smiling, his left side of the face was not completely going up to the same way as the right side, right? So that is what happened. We acted quickly. We went to Medanta straight away because I was living in Mumbai at the time, but my sister was in Gurgaon, so we had to take a call whether Mumbai, Delhi. Logistic reasons, we picked Medanta in Gurgaon, and Medanta again, one of the still in my opinion one of the best places, one of the better decisions that we have taken. We went there. Dr. VP Singh checked. He suggested straight away go for surgery. The tumor is too big. So yeah, we within a week we were already on the operation table, right? So we did not waste any time absolutely whatsoever because we wanted to get rid of it as soon as possible. Even before the surgery, we had some idea that it could be cancerous, which has like a 70% chance. This is what we were told at that time. But if we are lucky and in that 30% range, in 30% this thing, then this will be the end of it. Again, brain surgery for someone who has not had medicine for anything but thyroid in the past 55 years. Again, not something that comes easily to you, but fine. We prepared him mentally, things happened, and then we went on for the surgery. Surgery went pretty well. Everything that could visibly be seen even on an MRI was removed. The post-op MRI was completely clean. Around this time, this is when I started getting in touch with Dimple. I did not know her personally before, but I knew her somehow. Let's say it. So that's why I started getting in touch with her, and then she was recommending not to go for. I mean, she had her concerns about the regular chemotherapy.
Right. So you were telling me?
Yeah, so we were at the surgery, right? I mean, within 1 week of doing the MRI on 26th of November 2018, we got 22nd November, I think, is when we got the MRI scan reports, and 26th of November is when we had the operation done. So, without wasting much time. So, this was pretty much a call that we did not have much confusion about. But after this is uh, where the help that we needed or the information that we needed or the awareness that we needed really came into the picture. It was a big tumor, it was growing, it had to be removed, so surgery was not a second thought, right? And it had to be done. Then whether to go for chemotherapy, whether to go for alternate treatments. Before that, I mean, in a couple of days we got the diagnosis we got the biopsy results as well, which said that it was GBM grade 2 to 3 progressing to 4, something like this. But it was GBM4 all along, right? So we knew it was malignant. We had to get some sort of further treatment done. And this is where kind of with the tumor, we were not very shocked. We were not, I mean, fine, it happened, we removed it. But when it turned out malignant, that is when the tricky part started, right? Me and my sister knew from the very beginning the prognosis is not very good. There's possibly not much time. So we started preparing ourselves according to that, and we started looking at other treatments. We knew that probably the regular line of allopathic treatment will not work very well. And the good part was that my dad's body in general was in extremely good shape. Right, like I said, until a couple of months ago, he was playing squash at the state level. So he physically was in very good shape. So he was fit. He was the body was um, able to take care of itself. So that is why immunotherapy and these kind of things started coming to our minds.
Right.
Right. But after a lot of discussion, we still decided to go with chemotherapy in the first round.
Right.
We did chemo radio for 6 weeks, and then TMZ continued for 6 odd months again, 6 or 8 cycles, I think, till August. And then we were doing regular scans every 2 3 months. Everything was clean until August 2019.
Okay.
Right, August 2019, we saw again signs of tumor growing back. So we knew it was recurrent. Uh, Again, all this while, the challenge was to keep the motivation levels of my parents intact. Right. I mean, again, me and my sister, we were discussing very closely with the doctors as to what is the real situation on the ground. So we have had some blunt answers. So I'm not blaming anyone, but this is just how it is, right? I mean, you have to sometimes know what is going on so that you can take the right call. But we did not really feel very comfortable telling them the entire story from the beginning. So a lot of it was kept from them. And then we slowly and steadily, even they're smart people, right? I mean, they're not fools. They figure things out themselves.
Yes.
So slowly, steadily, they came to know what it is, how much is the life expectancy, what is the treatment prognosis, whether it can be done or not, and everything was turning out to be that there's not much hope. This is if it reoccurs, the only thing we can do is operate again and go for chemotherapy again, go for some different type of radiotherapy, or but this is the only three things that exists. Everything else is experimental. Nothing has been proven. And it's not that if we fly from here somewhere to the US, we didn't know. Honestly, we did not explore much options in the US as well, because of the cost reasons, and plus whatever we could understand from whatever we read and we talked to people, the treatment for this is pretty much the same everywhere. It's just a post-op care that is significantly better in the US. But again, we did not have any problems with Medanta, like I said. The post-op care there and what we were able to do back home after he was discharged, we were I don't think that had anything to do with how he recovered. Or first surgery, he recovered very very fast because the body was in very good shape. There's no harmful poisonous substances like chemotherapy, which was TMZ, or anything that had gone into the body. So he recovered extremely fast.
Wow.
Even during the first cycle of chemotherapy till August, the only complaint he had was sometimes he used to feel constipated when he was during those 5 days when he was taking the TMZ tablets.
Right.
Other than that, thankfully, we have even till date not had any side effects of any medicine that we have done.
Amazing. Wow. That
uh,
itself shows his body and his strength, you know.
exactly, right. So that
The
is
immunity is just intact.
yes, the immunity was intact, and that is why we were trying to get along with the immunotherapy treatments as well. Because if the immune system is strong in general, just talking completely in terms of a layman, if the immune system is in general strong and you empower it with some more weapons, then there's a higher probability that it will be able to act on it. We started with immunoclean as well, but there was some issues. He was not very. The skin was getting damaged a little bit, and he did not like it. My dad did not like it.
Right,
Uh,
right. What age was he though?
he was 55 when the diagnosis happened. Currently, he's 57.
Yeah. And the stage?
It was straight away grade 4. I mean, the stage was there. It was not a very progressed disease. That is why we were able to, because we were able to identify it without any symptoms, right? We did not have any symptoms. An asymmetric smile, nobody would even in their wildest of dreams would think that
You
this
would
is,
have observed him so much. That's the thing. I
has.
mean, his family has, he's like the apple of your eye. If you all have to have noticed something like that,
A
you
lot
know.
of people noticed. I mean, it was pretty obvious. It was not very.
Yes.
And it was growing very fast. That was the problem. Because I met him maybe a couple of weeks ago, maybe 10 days ago. I don't remember what date exactly was
Mm-hmm.
Diwali, but Diwali vacation, I'd come back home, and that's when I saw him. It felt slightly tilted. So, I mean, we were like, okay, fine, let's get it tested. There's no point delaying it, but it does not look that bad.
Right.
10 days later, when the MRI was done and I was seeing him again on the day of when the MRI report was supposed to come, it was a cousin's wedding. So I had gone back home again.
Right.
And that is when I could see a very significant difference within those 10 days itself, right? So it somehow had this feeling that it is growing very fast. Although later on, in the past 2 years, we have also observed that the symptoms depend a lot on his mental state as well at the given time.
Yes.
So that is what I want to come to next. I mean, treatment wise, we did pretty much radio chemo. We did a second round of surgery in October 2019 in 11 months time, and then we went back to. We did not do chemo then. We decided that chemo is not working. So what's the point? There's no point putting in more TMZ in the body. We know TMZ is not working. So doctors at Medanta suggested that you can go for cyber knife therapy, which is a more intense form of radiation for a very short period of time. It delivers the same amount of total dosage in a very short period of time. So we did that as well. But after that, December 2019, 7th December 2019 is when all allopathic treatment pretty much stopped, except for Lavera and, I mean, the anti-epileptic and the thyroid medicines that he was taking.
Right.
Right? Everything else had stopped. This
Right.
was the time when we again started exploring immunotherapy option. We started him on Immunoclean. We started him on an alternate. There's a Dr. Krishna's Cancer Healer Center here in Delhi, Gurgaon, everywhere. We started him on that. Then we started him on Dr. Bhatnagar's homeopathic treatment. We started him on. There was some relative who suggested that this Guruji rehte hain kahin
A
pe.
lot of that. Yeah.
Right? Fine. So as we said, it's Ayurvedic medicine, so not much harmful. But again, the doctors were okay with everything else, but this particular thing they were not okay with because they said that they did not know what kind of heavy metals does this Ayurvedic medicine contain. So the challenge that comes later on, what we were told is that if you take a lot of heavy medicine with the medication, your liver starts to get damaged very, very fast.
Yes. Yes.
When
That
you
happens.
have symptoms later on, if it cures it, fine. I mean, you're done.
Yeah.
It
You
works,
can
it
take a
works.
chance there.
You can take
Right.
a chance. If it works, it works.
Hmm.
If it does not work, then it becomes very difficult even for allopathic doctors to take care of the symptoms later on. So that is what we were told. But anyways, we did start with it. But somewhere down the line, it felt that this is not happening, and there's a lot of money being extorted in the name of we'll do this, ye promise kar denge, wo promise kar denge. Fine. I mean, I'm not saying, I still don't know what worked, what did not work. So I'm no one to comment on that. But we tried
As a
every,
son, you tried everything.
we tried everything we could, right? I mean, after the second surgery is where I think things went a little downhill for us. The surgery itself, again, I personally believe that was done well. My dad does not think so, but fine. It could be a matter of opinion. But what did not go well for us the second time was the cyber knife treatment.
Hmm.
Uh, he still has an open scar from the second surgery, which is 10 months now, um, because this radiation was given when the wound was not completely healed.
Right.
And the skin became dead, and then it started getting infected. And as soon as February 2020,
Hmm.
even before that, I think January 20, doctors were talking about a third surgery where they wanted to remove the bone flap and cover it up. And that is the time we kind of put our foot down that this is not happening. I mean, he said that I am not going for a third surgery. This just seems like a never-ending process. This keeps happening again and again. This is something right now, and they will develop some complication for this. So, anyways, long story short, we decided to cut it off at that time, right? So until last month, I'd say, we were continuing on all of these treatments except for the Ayurvedic treatment that I was talking about. So Dr. Bhatnagar is still continuing.
Yeah.
Um, there is reoccurrence again. Just last month we did a scan where it shows signs of recurrence. On the periphery, there we can see that there is activity. There was a lot of edema, because of which he had his first seizure last month. So that is, I mean, I still see it in a good way, because it took like 2 years, almost 2 years, for him to get his first seizure. That is probably something that, being proactive, trying to figure out, solve things way before it creates a problem. That is where I personally think it helped. Apart from the fact that his body was in tremendous shape, he responded very well, and a lot of things like that, right? So. Yeah, but the more important thing, I think, which becomes a bigger challenge, is one big challenge is, yes, the awareness, to develop awareness, to figure out what treatments are available, to figure out which one to choose, how to choose it.
Right path, the right
You,
guidance.
and as it seems, especially in cases like GBM, where there is no proven treatment, does not seem that there is a right path. There have been survivors who have overcome GBM, and they've survived for like 15, 20 or more years,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
But the median seems to be the same, 18 to 24 months. Uh, so we are sort of in that range right now, about 22 months currently. So there is a third reoccurrence, like I said. But now his body is kind of giving up as well, in the sense that he does not feel the same way that he used to feel before. The weakness on the left side is significantly increased. He needs attention all the time. Even when he's going to the loo, he needs attention. But all of this started happening in the last couple of months.
Yes.
For this, he was independent. He could go out on his own. We did not allow him to drive for the last 2 years. That's a different story. There's another fight on that front, where he wanted to drive, but we're not allowing him to drive.
I mean, all of a sudden you're telling this very independent person to
Exactly.
just listen to you. It's not, doesn't work like that.
Exactly. That is where we had the major challenge. The one challenge was this: we still don't know whether we chose the right path. We did not choose the right path, but we
I understand.
did
I
everything to
understand.
the best of our capabilities, with the best of the knowledge we had at the time. The
Yeah.
second challenge was how to manage things mentally, emotionally, right?
Yeah.
Like we said, me and my sister knew everything from the get-go. But my sister, and my wife pretty much knew everything from the get-go. And then my sister got married, so my brother-in-law also knew pretty much everything. But my parents did not know initially. Then they started figuring out slowly, and I personally think my mom has still not accepted the facts. Uh,
Yes.
she's coming around very lately. She's coming around and fig- kind of thinking that this could be a possibility, that the worst might happen. But that is where we are. I mean, it's been a tough journey. It's nothing to. I mean, yes, nobody expected it. It was extremely shocking, especially for some, and especially with GBM patients. This is what my observation has been, talking to a lot of people, a lot of caregivers, and a lot of patients themselves. It seems like it happens to the best of the people only. I mean, if the body is not able to do any harm elsewhere, this is what happens to you.
I mean, you don't have to think of it like that, Pratik. I mean, it is definitely a long. I mean, being in the journey that you are right now, I can completely understand.
No, I'm just saying this because people should not get disheartened at why it happened to me. There are reasons
Yes.
so again, at the face of it, when I tell you this story, the face of it, he seems like the perfect guy, right? I mean,
Yes.
never
Yes.
sleeps beyond, is never awake after 10:30 in the night. Wakes up at 5 a.m., goes to play squash every single day. He's pretty good at it. Comes back, does his job. No smoking, no drinking. Why such a thing can happen to such a person? The reason I was saying this is that this is what it looks like at the face of it.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
just the face of it. we have not really drilled deeper down to figure out why it happens. And the challenge is that no doctors are able to tell us even after it happened why it happened.
Yes,
But
yes.
their research or everything is, for me, medical science is just statistics, nothing else. It is a regression analysis that you plot tens of thousands of points that अगर ऐसा ऐसा हुआ था तो ये symptom आया था और ये दवा दे दी थी और इससे ठीक हो गया था. That is all, right? I mean, if there is no sort of prediction that if you are doing this today, tomorrow this can happen to you. There's absolutely no effort being put in that direction. Anyways, that's a separate story. I can go on an hour.
Yeah.
On that as well.
No, but other than that, like I completely understand. You're being heard, Pratik. Don't ever think that you're not. I understand. And honestly, as a caregiver, you have really, really, you and your family have really put up with a lot, and you all have really given your best, and you still are. That's the best beauty of it. I mean, the kind of the inspiration people are going to take from this video by watching how, you know, how you're explaining each and every thing, each and every step of how you all are going through your research and how you all are getting there is just very inspirational, if you ask me, right?
Another thing, no, I completely understand your point. The point is very well taken, and this is one of the point. This is one of the reasons why we are doing this. That people should take some inspiration. I'm not saying we did everything right. Nobody
Yes,
knows whether it is
yes,
right or wrong. It's
yes,
the effort that counts. That's all
yes,
you can do.
exactly. And what
And
is your message out there to all the caregivers and all the patients watching this?
my if I have to put this in one line, I would say it can happen to anyone, rather than getting bogged down by the fact that why it happened to me. The right thing to do in such a situation is to make the best use, to put in your best effort to treat it and make the best use of the time you have. I really encourage people to watch the movie Pink.
Hmm.
That's something
Wow.
that I was really touched by, and that is
Wow.
maybe around that time my outlook towards this changed as well. I mean, fine, it happened. It happened not in my control, not in your control, not in anybody's control, right?
Yes,
But
yes, yes, yes,
you do the best you can, and if
yes.
it's not happening, make the most of what you have. Make the most of,
Wow.
even if it is
Amazing.
the most of what you have, right? I mean, what's the point of spending these 2 years regretting why it happened, and then when the person is no more with you, and then you regret that I spent these 2 years in the hospital, right? I'm not saying don't go to the hospital. Please
No,
do.
no. Yes, yes,
Yes,
definitely.
but enjoy a little as well. This is what I've been trying to tell my father as well and my mother as well, but I may not have been able to pass
Yeah.
on the message
And
right.
everybody's coping strategies are different, and it takes a toll on people differently. I understand. But the fact that you're here with us, the fact that you're talking to us, while going through this journey itself is, I kudos to you, to your courage, to your, I mean, you can only, when one goes through it, do they understand the kind of, the kind of human endurance and the spirit that a person possesses, right? Thank you so much, Pratik. Thank you so much for coming on, taking the time out, and, you know, explaining your entire stand on it, explaining your side of it. On behalf of Zen Onco and Love Heals Cancer, I really want to thank you. And it has been a pleasure talking to you. It has been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And trust me, you are inspiring. Keep inspiring people. Keep the fight going on. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nadia.